What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. I want to focus in on the Ottawa Senators season preview and what to expect from last year's upstart team during the 2015-2016 season. A couple times in the last 5-6 years, Ottawa's been an upstart team one year, and then the weight of expectations on the next season really don't come to fruition. We've seen that a few times with this franchise, but I think it's gonna be different this year. I love Dave Cameron as a coach. I think he's done a phenomenal job. I thought the front office made some pretty good moves this offseason. Obviously, what carried them to the playoffs last year was the play of Andrew Hammond between the pipes. The Hamburglar was on another level for the last 25, 26 games. So after coming up from Binghamton, so you look at Hammond, you say to yourself, all right, they re-signed him to a 3-year extension, and the play between the pipes is what carried them to the playoffs. So let's start in with the net. A lot of moves were made in Ottawa's crease this offseason. Obviously, re-signing Hammond to a 3-year extension, which I really liked. Then trading away Robin Lehner to Buffalo, getting a first-round pick back, which is always a good thing, and signing Matt O'Connor out of Boston University to an entry-level deal. One of the better college free agents in the market this year. And, I think from O'Connor's time at BU, and you saw in that championship game, the giving up goals that he shouldn't give up, just like real backbreakers. And it wasn't just the one that won the national championship for Providence. You look at, that national championship run, the run to the national championship game, it seems like one goal a game he gave up that was like, self-inflicted wound, if you will, unforced error to borrow a tennis term. So, I think starting him off in the minors is really good. They still have Craig Anderson, so you start with Hammond and the aforementioned Anderson. So the Hammond Anderson. Not my best joke, but I try. Those two to open the season. Obviously Anderson's a pretty long tenured veteran, and Hammond's shown he can play. Can he sustain that over the course of a full season? We'll see. I mean, that's going to be the big question for Ottawa. Obviously, those numbers were otherworldly, and I wouldn't bet on him returning to that form. But it's they have faith in him, obviously. On the blue line, little guy by the name of Erik Karlsson, the team captain, pretty good player. Had a dominant run last year. Again, won a second Norris Trophy. Guy is just amazing offensively. I don't think it's a credit he deserves defensively. I mean, I could sit here all day and talk about the plays he breaks up with his skating ability, and too often you see a guy like this and it's like, oh, well, he's a one-way player. It's like, no, it is pretty good repertoire to his game, and I just wish more people saw it like that. But I don't think these senators are crying about it because, again, his offensive output. I mean, you look at what he's done since his first Norris Trophy year. 78 points in 81 games. He won his first Norris Trophy. 14 points in 17 games. The year was hurt with a Matt Cook Achilles injury. 74 points in 82 games in 2014, and 66 points last year. And it was a big catalyst on them making the playoffs. I mean, again, Hammond grabbed a lot of the headlines, but Erik Karlsson, nothing to shake a stick at. Rightfully, got the Norris Trophy last year over some pretty deserving candidates. Going a step further, youth is served up front. Oh, there's youth on defense too. I mean, Cody Ceci played a lot last year. This year Jared Cowan really comes into his own. We'll see how about that. No word on Chris Phillips' availability to start the season. Probably a couple months off. But having a veteran presence on that blue line isn't the worst case scenario. If and when he does come back. I mean, I know it's a pretty young team, but getting Phillips back there to be a steadying hand isn't the worst thing either. Up front, this group I'm really excited about. We saw what Mark Stone did last year, and we saw what Mike Hoffman did last year. They grabbed a lot of the headlines. Rightfully so. They're both really, really good players. I've been a huge Mika Zibanejad fan since he was drafted in 2011. He had 46 points last year. I think he can be, he can have a 50 to 60 point year this year. Again, I really enjoy watching the kid play. I think he's got a tremendous skill set and will be a big part of the Senators' future. Beyond that, Curtis Lazar, another young guy that played a lot last year for Ottawa, didn't put up, eye-popping offensive numbers, but I think his physicality and hockey IQ will carry him, and I think that'll make him an important part of the Senators team for the next decade or so. He was a big-time player with the Edmonton Oil Kings once upon a time, and getting him out getting them some consistent NHL minutes, maybe in the top 6 this year. I mean, we'll see how it all works out, but I think his physical game is good enough to where he can complement more skilled guys, and he's got the offensive repertoire to, not be out of place with them as well. Just a lot of good. It's funny, a lot of good college hockey players there. Obviously Alex Chiasson was a great player at BU. I got to watch him play some of his best hockey with the Terriers. And Kyle Turris' 1 year at Wisconsin was amazing. So, just to hop on the college hockey thing. Hammond obviously played at Bowling Green. So, pretty good college hockey roster there in Canada's capital. Bobby Ryan's gonna need a bounce back season. I know he's 54 points, but when you look at the amount of money he's getting paid, the extension he signed, it's like, you need more. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think Kyle Turris, Turris, I think getting free of Phoenix or Arizona, they were Phoenix back then, so whatever. And being the number 3 pick in the draft, behind a guy named Patrick Kane, it was always kind of a tough pill to swallow. But I think in Ottawa he's played his best hockey. He's played obviously on a better team. The players around him complement his skill set a little more. And, again, I just think he's free of the expectations of having to live up to being, a top 3 pick. And, he's able to play some good hockey. And, will he ever be, a 90-point guy? No, but 64 points last year. And I think 65, 70 this year is not unreasonable. And, I think he'll be a big part of the Sens' success this year. I mean, again, I really enjoy watching the kid play. I think he's come a long way since more or less shooting his way out of Phoenix, and his wrist shot is pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. So we'll see how that works out. But again, Ottawa has an uphill battle to return to the playoffs. They're going to be close. It's going to come down to the wire. I mean, how much better are they than Florida right now? I don't know. If maybe Florida didn't piss away a few overtime games early in the season last year, they're in the playoffs over Ottawa. I think they're better than the Boston Bruins, which, isn't saying a whole lot. But the East is going to be tough this year. There's a lot of good, like Buffalo will not be an easy source of points. Going to, playing the Sabres isn't going to be like going to an ATM and pulling points out. They're going to be a tough team to play. I'm not saying Buffalo's going to make the playoffs, but, again, they're not going to be pushovers. And, I just think that's going to be, one of the tougher battles you got to face. But, looking at the Eastern Conference, can Ottawa sneak in? Yeah, if they could sneak in last year, they can definitely get in again this year. So, we'll see how that all works out. But anyway, that's all I got this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.